Richard from EnvisionSelfHealing.com, where we are dedicated to helping you improve your eyesight and quality of life by taking healing into your own hands. This is part 3 of a 4-part series on eye exercises for a busy life. And as I've said before, I have a very busy life right now. I'm buying a house, remodeling a house, starting up a business, and I'm traveling to Brazil with Will. So, I've been going through the anatomical parts of my eye, showing you the issues that I'm dealing with, and then how I'm exercising these anatomical parts, how I'm trying to get them to work better, essentially, taking them to the gym in some ways. So the next part we're going to be dealing with is the iris. So, the iris is the part of the eye that closes down and dilates and opens up to let in more light, or close down to restrict the amount of light going in. And the strength of your iris will determine how light sensitive you are. There are other issues, but for most of us, we have weak irises, and that's why we have light sensitivity. And there's some other issues too. Anyway, so what I'm trying to do is reduce my light sensitivity. Also, by shrinking my pupil down, I get a sharper image as well, which we all do. So those are the two things I'm trying to do, is get a smaller pupil, sharper image, and reduce my light sensitivity. So for that, the exercise is sunning. Almost no substitute for that. So basically I sun in the morning after breakfast for about 10 minutes. And then I'll try and do it in the afternoon before dinner. Another 10 minutes. For me, that's kind of important. It just brings me a lot more clarity, sunning does, so I get a good benefit from it, so I will do it more frequently than other exercises. But I will also do it in transit. So maybe I do another 10 minutes in transit in total during the day, when I'm going for a bus or walking around waiting for something. So now I've added about 20 minutes of eye exercises. Before last week I had maybe 15 minutes of exercises. Now we're up to 20 and 20, 50, 35 minutes of eye exercises. This one is just in the flow of my life, so I'm not going to include that. The lens, now I'm dealing with my presbyopia. So I need to do near-far exercise, and I need to do the presbyopia chart. Near-far, I probably only do about 5 minutes, quite honestly. And I do it as part of, we would probably recommend 10 for other people if we weren't quite so busy. And I do the presbyopia chart. So I do this near-far at breakfast in the same sequence that I'm doing the other ones. I do distance looking, I do astigmatism, and I do near-far kind of in sequence right there at breakfast. The presbyopia charts I'm doing in transits. That's blue. So I do them in transit, so I carry a copy around with me. And I do them in transit in my house. So I have it posted in my house, and I'll stop and do it. So, these are adding not much, and maybe this is another 5 minutes here. So in total, I'll probably get 10 minutes of the exercise, but 5 of them are in transit, and 5 are kind of in my house when I stop and look at it. So in some ways, I don't really have a schedule for this at all. So that takes care of the lens, and now I'm up to maybe 40 minutes of eye exercises in a day. Moving on to the macula, the part of the back of the eye here in the retina that has the cones, that sees the detail. Now for me, I need to do shifting. everyone needs to do shifting in order to strengthen the macula. So shifting in green. So you're going to do shifting to deal with the macula. And for me, in particular, I need to shift with my left eye because I have a blind spot in my left eye that intrudes upon the macula. So I would often do this as part of with obstruction. So I wear obstruction glasses, covering my right eye mainly, and look with my left eye. So I'm doing two things. So I'll get to that next week in terms of the brain, in terms of eye dominance. But for this particular thing, I'm shifting with obstruction as a way of using the left macula in particular. And I do this in the flow of my life. So I don't do this at all as a formal exercise. So I'll say in the flow, let's call it that. So I will carry around my glasses and just do it whenever it seems like I could do it. Like if I'm doing the dishes, or I'm vacuuming, or walking down the street, any of those things, I just put on the obstruction glasses. So let's see what I've added here. I've added 5 minutes here, and maybe 10 minutes here, sunning. Oh no, 20, 25, so maybe I am up to about 50 minutes of eye exercises at this point. So those are the three structures that we've dealt with this week, and how you can integrate them into a busy life.